second challenge. This is one you always get. Users are, to a degree, overwhelmed by the screen. So challenge 2 is that screens are too busy for simple data entry. The note that we got where quick entry of a record is difficult due to complex presentations, and the users specifically, they don't want to manage another application and privileges for that application inside of Maximo, because for an application that simply presents the exact same data as you're looking at. And again, the work order presentation is a perfect example of this, because you go to the work order screen, it is very complex. So when as a user, let me go to the Start Center here, go to work order tracking. When I create a record, I'm presented with all of these fields. And that can be quite overwhelming, especially if you just want to get your data in quickly and enter it. So what we've done is, based on this request, is we've manipulated the presentation a tiny bit so that your oh gosh, I'm going back to the spreadsheet here, so that your screen becomes much simpler when you're adding it. So here's our solution. What we did was we created a section on the main screen that simply shows the necessary fields for quick entry. We added an MX action functionality that lets you toggle on this quick entry mode or turn it off when you need to. And then finally, once you populate your core fields in this presentation, the rest of the presentation shows up. So you make sure you get your necessary data in first, then you can fill in and populate the rest of the data. So let me go back to my presentation here and demonstrate that. Easiest way to do it is for me to use the select action and choose the action I created called Use Quick Entry. You'll see right here, all my fields are hidden. All I have are the necessary fields that my end users felt or my business requirements deem as necessary, and I present them on the screen. And if I go ahead and fill them in, Maximo challenges, choose an asset, Unix server. I set my work type to this and a priority. You'll see my presentation automatically displays, but again, my necessary fields are populated so that the user is not overwhelmed by that screen and they get their core data in as they need it. I can show you those rules too. They're super simple. Basically, I created a rule that hides the controls. And the way you can create a rule to do that is simply just by clicking a button and then clicking your sections or your attributes that you want to hide. So as you can see in this rule, I have all of these sections selected that all I do to select them is point and click. Oh, now I changed it because I didn't hit control. But you can see it's super easy to add records to your selection to create a hidden rule. So I selected all these records and then I hid them. And the case in which I hid them is when I have my RM quick entry field is not valid. So when I do my MX action to turn on quick entry, I set my quick entry value to 1. And the other thing is it's hidden under that condition and when all of these fields haven't been populated. So that's why as I filled in my data, once I populated my last value, which was low priority, you saw the screen reappear. So if I do the same thing here, I'm still in quick entry mode as I fill these all in. Oops. Challenge 3. How about, let's choose that one. Work type, emergency, and then you'll see again, when I populate this field, it's validated. So I use this as a shortcut for an MX action, but you can use this. You can assign context to these rules so that they only fire for specific users, maybe novice users who just want to get the data in and move and get back to work, or users that have just limited time in the system. They need to come in here, get their record in, and go back to work, enter another record, or things like that. So we added this functionality, and it's always conditional that you can apply these type of rules not only for an entire system, but for specific users of a specific site, things like that. So that is our second challenge. fairly simple again, and just for what it's worth. So that mode remains until you either turn it off or until you log out of the system. So I went back to the Start Center and I came back. When I hit Insert, it's still going to be the quick entry mode. Now I can turn that off simply by another MX action, that is use normal entry. Now when I create my record, it's back to the regular Maximo work order screen without everything hidden. So this is dynamic. So you can add this functionality. You can have it linger for the entire session that you're in Maximo, or just have it for a single record if you need it. Okay, let's go back to our presentation here and look at the next challenge.